Okay, there we go. Welcome everyone to rankings week three. We usually do this after the veto meeting, but we were a little busy last night, so it is now 5 p.m. the day of the eviction. Eviction's at 8. It looks right now Kate is going home, but you never know, I guess.
Yeah, it's been a relatively quiet week
Yeah.
compared to weeks 1 and 2. This week has seemed there really has not been any shift in alliances, no huge power difference, more so just maybe people's positioning slightly changing based off of the mood. But like you're not going to see too many crazy shifts in rankings this week, I don't think. But with that being said, let's just jump right into it with the current HOH in Miss Julia Flatley. Last week, I gave Julia a 6, and Steven gave Julia a 6 for an average of 6.
Okay.
Where do you stand?
I mean, like you said, it's been a quiet week, so I don't think anything drastically is going to change. And I think Julia kind of falls in that. I mean, I think that getting Kate out this week was good for her personal game, so I feel like that was a good move to put her up. I do think that one of the main reasons she did that though was because she had a lot of people backing her and telling her that she should do that. Um, but this week I think I'm going to stick with a. I mean, I'm trying to think. She's fine probably going into next week and further on, but I don't think she's like running things. So I think I'm gonna stick with the 6 this week.
All right, Steven is sticking with the 6. My thing on Julia is I think it was great that she won the HOH right after she knew that people were targeting her in the back door. But people were targeting her in the back door not because they were like targeting Julia Flatley, but more because like it's just someone that's expendable, won't make waves, and it's just like the best move that we can push forward right now. I don't think anyone was necessarily actively coming after Julia. Um, I think after this week, Juliana, for one, is definitely running at Julia's head with a pitchfork. I think Luke could be easily swayed into doing that. And then I think with that, like Grace and Reza are just kind of looped into that group as well. Juliet, who might be able to be convinced to do so. That one's a little iffy. I don't really know where she is. Not where she's at, where she is. I meant what I said. And so again, I don't think she's going home next week, but I do think people are now like more so like annoyed with Julia. And no one else has really gone like super up on Julia. So I'm gonna move down to a 5. Um, just because I think her position has gotten maybe like a little worse, but like nothing too drastic.
Yeah.
So Julia's new average is a 5.5. Um, so yeah, she's gone down a little bit, but it's higher than her week 1 score. So she's kind of falling in the middle. Still in the upper half of rankings.
And I don't know if you noticed, but this blue dot right here is Matt. I don't know if you can see it in week 1. He doesn't have a line.
All right, moving on to the nominees for the week. And listen, I think it's in our eyes, it's clear who is going home, but that doesn't mean that I am giving one of them a higher ranking because it's atrocious. So, Steven, where do you stand on Juliet?
Well, where did we stand on Juliet last week?
Well, that's a great point. Juliet last week received a 4 from both of us for an average rating of 4.
Um, I mean, as opposed to other people, I feel like not only is she not doing much, but she's not doing much on like the wrong side of the house, which is even worse because like Scott, I feel like you have strong feelings about Juliet right now. I gave her a 4 last week. Um, but like I don't know. I feel like it's hard because I don't feel like she's in any immediate danger, but I feel like she will keep getting used as a pawn, but then can easily go home from being a pawn. Like she could have easily gone home this week if Juliana won the veto and didn't use it. Um, I am gonna also stick this week with a 4. I think.
Alrighty. Okay, my turn. Juliet. Oh Lord. Oh Lord. You're on the block. It's been hours after the veto meeting. I have not seen her reach out one. The most I've seen her do is laugh at Caitlin's text about bras. Like that's what that was in the house chat. That's been her extent. Like she's done nothing. You're on the block, and to your knowledge, you don't know that Kate is the target. It's not like she's in on it. To her knowledge, she's just as much as a threat, like on the block as Kate is, and she's done nothing. If this were a normal week of just like campaigning and people were open minded, Kate should and would be staying because Juliet's done nothing. Other people are doing nothing. For example, Emma is doing nothing, but Emma's doing nothing in the majority. Juliet's doing nothing in the far minority, and I think it takes now, like as that side of the house's numbers dwindle, it takes one person to win a veto, and Juliet is just expendable to literally everyone. I cannot keep her at a 4. I'm putting her at a 3. Like, but as my friend, Juliet, I love you to death, and I miss you. As a game player, I want you out of the damn game.
Which would be put Juliet at a 3.5
Yes.
this week. Okay, moving on to Kate. Kate last week, I have to find her.
Yes, last week Kate got a 3 from me and a 4 from Steven for an average of 3.5.
I gave her a 4 or 3.
You gave her a 4. I gave her a 3.
Man, like, I guess we didn't get to put our thoughts on this because we did our last rankings right after the veto meeting.
Oh, before this.
Yeah. So we like Juliana and Kate are convinced that they flipped the vote on Dan, which is like,
unbelievable.
And then we like gave Juliana what she had to say for the week, and she's like, "Why didn't you include anything of us flipping the vote?" And we can't tell her that she didn't flip the vote, but it's just like, are you clueless? Like, it would have been better for them to vote in the minority, which is good.
Better for them to find out that everyone was against them, rather than think that they're in this place of bliss. Like, Kate still thinks that she can stay.
Which is probably what's going to happen tonight. I hope. Oh my God. I hope that they just vote in the minority and figure out that they're in the minority.
Exactly. If there's nothing they can do to save Kate, I hope that they realize the horrible position that they're in because they don't even know.
Yeah. I gave her a 4 last week.
Yeah.
Do you have other weeks' rankings?
Yeah.
What did I give Dan last week?
Last week you gave Dan a 2.
I
gave Dan a 1.
I think I have to give Kate a 2 this week. Like, seriously. I'm sorry, Kate. I love you.
Yeah, so last week I gave Dan a 1 because he was A, the entire house was against him, B, he didn't know it, and C, he was against Grace Del Piso, someone who was going to fight tooth and nail to stay no matter what. Kate fits 2 of those requirements, and that 1, the house is against her, and 2, she doesn't necessarily know the danger she's in. But she's against Juliet Morgan, who is doing nothing. So there is still an ounce of hope that Kate, who is campaigning and saying all the right things, and is putting up a great fight and is pointing out great points and knows people that are, like, her knowledge of the game and what she needs to do is great. But the problem is that no one cares. And she's not really going to be able to convince anyone. So she would be at a 1 if her partner was campaigning too, but Juliet's invisible, so Kate gets a 2 from me as well.
For 2 this week.
So yes, that brings Kate's average down to a 2, which breaks my heart because she's so fun.
Yeah. Wow, she started a 6 too, 2 episodes ago.
Yeah. I mean, it seemed like they were running it for a while, but
yeah,
a while was 2 days, and then that ended. So.
Yep. All right.
Speaking of that alliance, Luke, Mr. I have a great social game. I'm fine. My allies are going home, and I've nominated half the house, but I have a great social game. But no, you do not. Steven, what do you think?
So Luke finished at a 4.5 this week. Did I give him a 5 last week, and you gave him a 4?
Yes, last week, Luke got a 4 from me and a 5 from you.
Luke it's so tough to watch because we love season 3, but it's just like, oh my god, they're like oblivious. It's like so hard to
They
watch.
came in too confident that and to be fair, we blew them up that like season 3 is a great season.
Yeah.
And it is, but like doesn't mean all the best players.
Um,
Sorry.
that was really.
Sorry.
Okay. uh, yeah, Luke. You, you keep, yeah, like you said, like my allies are going home, but I think I'm fine. Why would you be fine if all your allies are going home? Like I don't get that. And you like you're so confident that you can just keep winning competitions, but like honestly, you only won 2. One of them was the wall, which is like okay, if you want to win it, you can pretty much just win it. Um, it's just like
So many people have also been throwing, like, people aren't showing their full competition prowess. You have people like David and James who are holding records and, like, they're not winning on purpose.
but you can like you can't just say you're just gonna win if you feel unsafe. Like this is not how it works. Um, God, I gave him a 5 last week
Yeah.
because another one of his allies is going home, and he sent in a DR that said, "I don't want Kate to go tonight, but like if she does, like oh well." Like what? No, no, that should not be how that works. I'm going down to a 4.
Um, cool. So Steven goes down to a 4. I was at a 4 last week. Listen, he has actively pointed out my allies are going home. I've nominated 5 people out of how many people are left? 18?
17 after tonight.
That's 7. 5 out of 7. That's like a third of the house, practically. And he's not actively talking to people a ton other than his main group. But he has a great social game, so it's fine. It's like, no, you don't. No, you don't. That's not something that you just will into existence. You do not have a great social game. People, Anthony Hayes sent in this whole ass paragraph, which, by the way, stop. Um, that you won't see this till after, so it doesn't matter. But about how like Luke needs to be the one to go. And next week, I suspect that a civil war happens where it's like half the big group wants Juliana to go and half the big group wants Luke to go, and that's a horrible position to be in, especially when you think you're fine. You get a 3. So that's 3.5.
All right, Luke, you're now the 4th person in a row to go down this week. Everyone has gone down. So.
No one's gone up.
I
am definitely going up on some people.
Yeah, I agree.
Moving on to Alex.
So Alex was at a 7 last week?
Yeah, so week 1, we both gave him 8s. Week 2, we both gave him 7s.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, again, I don't think... I mean, he volunteered to go up this week.
He was going to. He didn't, though. Luke put him up anyway.
I mean, like, he knew he was going up, and he knew that he knew that he was going to win Battle of Block. That's why I like kind of said he wanted to go up. Like, still, I don't think there have been countless DRs of like Bella's tricky, she needs to go, or like I see David in the back of my eye, or like something about. There's been numerous things with many different people. Alex is someone that hasn't like gotten that, I don't think, from people, and like I don't think anybody's really like super honed in on him. I don't know. I think he's in a pretty good spot. I gave him a 7 last week.
Yeah.
I think he's surrounded fairly well. I think when the dust settles of the crash of this large alliance, I think he'll be fine. You don't think so?
Oh, sorry. That was not a reaction.
I will go back up to an 8 this week.
Gotcha. I think we have differing opinions about. Sorry, yes, that wasn't a reaction.
Yeah.
I lied.
Your reaction? What are you talking about?
So, do I still think Alex is in a good spot? Yeah, like he's not in necessarily danger of going home, but I do think, like in my eyes, it's pretty clear of the main majority group. I think he is at the bottom or towards the bottom, and I think if they have to pick sides, like could be in danger, especially with like if certain people rise to power. I don't think like week one he was in such a great position, but that's because he was in such a great position, balanced between Dan and Kate's alliance, between the Ross and Bella side, between the James and Maeve side. But now it's like of those three, you've got Dan and Kate's side. Well, Dan's gone, Kate's gone, and then Luke nominated you this week. So that's one side that you're not in, as well as Ross and Bella, I think, stick more with Anthony, Ventresca, and David, and Erin, and Emma, which then isolates him a little more. And I think he is still close with James and Maeve, but like he's a little annoyed with James. I don't know how much that's being shown in the episodes because it's not super important at the time, but like he's not thrilled. He's impressed by just like, God, James is like not being nominated, but it's like annoyed, and like I don't know if he necessarily wants to just like keep working with him. We resumed.
Yeah.
Now we are. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think because Luke put him up on the block this week, and was one of the first people that Luke mentioned to put on the block, I think is showing that he maybe isn't in as great of a position as we once thought. So I am going down actually on Alex, and I'm going to give Alex a 6.
Okay, so 7 again.
Yeah, so Alex stays at an average of 7.
Yeah, we'll see how that turns out with. I think this might be one. I mean, not the first time, but this might be our most differing opinion. One of our most differing opinions yet. So we'll see.
It's going like boo 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 boo. We're all over the place on Emma. Anyway, we'll get to her later. But for now, Maeve.
Okay.
Last week, I gave Maeve a 5. Stephen gave Maeve a 6. Thoughts?
For 5.5. Okay. Maeve is, oh my gosh, it's so hard this week because nothing really happened. It's hard to judge people off this week. Like I'm so like conflicted. So I feel like for most people I'll either go down one spot or stay the same. I'm trying to think. Like Maeve went up this week. Again, she knew she was gonna win against Hayes and Juliet. I don't know. I think she's also someone that's really not being talked about a lot. I think I'm going to stay a 6 on Maeve. Not much to talk about there, I don't think.
Last week, I was at a 5 on Maeve. This week, she was nominated, but that was, I think, a direct outcome of her move last week. And I think coming out of this week is in a better position than she was going into it, because I think now the season 3 people are going off of like their most recent offense, and I think they are now most mad at Julia and K-Pow and not Maeve. In fact, Juliana has also said like, I'm still after Maeve, but like I don't care about going after her right away. I want these people out. So I think her position's definitely gone up for sure, and she's been good about talking to other people. Do I think she's completely out of the woods yet? No, sir. But I am. Okay. I forget exactly what I was saying, but I think the reason I think people aren't looking at her as much, and I think she has regained some of her good position. I don't think she's completely out of the woods of the Dan Black backlash yet, but I will be going up on Maeve up to a 6 or an average 6. First person to go up. Yes. Maeve's average score is a 6. Show that.
I will. There we go. She went up.
First person to go up. Congratulations, Maeve. Moving on to Anthony Hayes. Last week, Anthony Hayes got a 7 from me and a 6 from Steven.
I feel like there's not much to say, not much more to say about these people. Like I feel like I'm struggling to find something to say because nothing happened really.
This week has been a boring week.
Yeah. But we'll see. I think this HOH is going to be interesting. Anthony Hayes, he didn't do anything to jeopardize himself this week. I mean, I wonder. I mean, obviously, if he was still on the block, and it was against Juliet, like the season 3 people would try and vote him out, but it wouldn't work. Like I don't think people are coming after him. I'll move up. I can't remember why I gave him a 6 last week. Do you remember? Because I started out.
Maybe it was because like he was seen as the forerunner of the Dan move, but
Maybe, yeah. I'm gonna go back up to a 7 this week.
all right, Stephen goes up to a 7. Last week I gave Anthony Hayes a 7. I'm also going to stay at my 7. I think Hayes' average score is 7, by the way, if you didn't get that. I think Hayes had some good stuff this week, had some bad stuff this week that neutralized itself. I think him going on the block and volunteering for that was good. I think it shows that he's a team player, that he trusts people. But he was very, 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 very forward with like, here's the plan, we should do it. I know the plan, like we should do the plan. And it's like very much like right now, Hayes is, I think, the running force of the game. And the problem is he was that way in season 4 and people took him out because of it. And James has already talked about, like, we got to turn on Hayes at some point. Maeve talked about we got to turn on Hayes at some point. So it's like, we're definitely not at that point yet. And I think he is fairly well set up for when the point comes. But, like, it's coming. So
Something's coming.
So we'll see where it goes in the future, but I'm going to stay at 7. Moving
Okay.
on to the other Anthony. Oh, wait, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so Anthony Hayes moves
He did
up.
go up. Yay, Hayes. Moving on to Anthony Ventresca. Last week, Ventresca got a 7 from both of us for an average score of 7.
Yeah, I mean, like, again, he's in that big group. When the dust settles, I don't know if people necessarily point their guns at him first. I feel like it goes more towards the people that have already been talked about. But definitely, let me see where he was before. Anthony V. Yeah, he started off with looks like 5.5 the first week, which is interesting because we said like he's not really doing anything right now, like, but we know this is how he starts off, and then he'll pick up his pace. I am, because I don't have enough information yet, I don't think, of how this is going to go. I think I'm going to stay at a 7.
Yeah, I really don't have anything too much to add. I'm staying at a 7 as well. His position is nearly exactly the same. Yes, he was like a driving force, I think, in getting like down on the block, but like I don't think that's necessarily why he was up at a 7. His position is fine. No one has said they're against him or with him more than they did last week. So in like a good and fine position, but like I don't have anything to really add per se.
Yeah. All right, which puts Anthony at a 7. He stays the same.
Moving on to Bella Deshays. Last week I gave Bella a 6. You gave Bella a 7.
I'm saying at a 6.5. Okay. Yeah, this is where it starts to get tricky because she's saying she's wanting to lay low. She's like, I'm not going to talk that much for the next few weeks just to stay. But I think if I had to bet, this is what I hope. I hope that another season 3 person doesn't go home next week. And if that doesn't happen, I think Bella and Ross are in major danger along with someone like David and like, I don't know. I think that the one side of the Dan's Biggest Mistake Alliance will kind of take charge over the other, which is why what did I give her last week? A 7?
I gave her a 7 last week.
Only because I'm worried about her going in the future. I will go to a 6.
Alrighty, Stephen went from a 7 to a 6. I'm going from a 6 to a 7. So Bella's score stays at 6.5. I do agree that I worry for her, David, and Ross a little bit. However, I think of the 3 of them, no question in my mind, like David and Ross both need to be safe and not on the block for Bella to go home. Because I think Bella is a strong campaigner, but B, compared to the other 2, where it's like Ross and David, I feel like both are like campaigning on like, here are the facts, keep me. But like Bella, I just feel like has more of like a natural connection way of talking, and I don't really know how to explain it, but it just kind of always happens. Where it's like the question is, will Bella campaign against someone like Ross? And I feel like that's going to be the problem. So I think she's in a good position. Um, I think people have largely gone away from targeting Bella specifically. So I personally feel decently good with Bella. So yeah, I'm gonna give Bella a 7. Or
Um,
is it a 6.5?
we've got a 6.5. She's a screen line. Okay. Now moving on to David. David last week was our highest person with
Jake
7.5.
got a seven from me, and an 8 from Steven.
I think I have to do the same thing. I think that he um, is someone I slightly less have to worry about. I know like Juliana's coming after him, but um, I think that if I went down on Bella, I feel like I have to go down one on David too for the same exact reason that like once this group breaks apart, I think they're kind of in the crosshairs. So I will go down to a 7 on David.
David is down to a 7. I also have to go on down on David for the same reason, so I'm giving him a 6 just because I was at a 7 last week. So David's score is a 6.5. I think that David is of that side of the group being David, Ross, Bella, Aaron, Anthony, and probably Emma looped in there. I think that David is in, I think, the most precarious position because I think people see him as the least trustworthy. And I think people right now just don't feel like they don't need to take the shot. But I feel like that time is approaching, especially as the season 3 numbers get lower. I think he emerges as one of the bigger threats, and I think people are gonna have a tough time letting him get to jury. And like that time, there are only a couple of evictions left before we get there, so um, I think he could be in a little bit of hot water. Again, still fine for the most part now. So yeah, that's I'm going with a 6.
Okay, which puts David at a 6.5.
6.5, yes.
Yeah, he went down a little bit, but yeah.
Moving on to Emma, and let me tell you, we have been all over the freaking place with Emma. She has gotten 4s, 5s, 6s, and 7s, I think. Like, and like we've never really. She's I don't Emma. So last week I gave Emma a 6. Steven gave Emma a 4 for an average of 5. Steven, what do you think?
Um, I don't know. I think it's the same exact thing as last week. I think I'm gonna give her a 4 again, but I think it's the same exact thing as last week of like nothing changed like with Emma. So I feel like it's unfair to give her the same. If I'm judging her solely based off of this week and moving forward, like I did last week, I feel like it's exactly the same. Where I haven't even heard from Emma.
Um,
So,
yeah, I agree.
but again, I don't think she's not in danger of going home. But I don't think that.
Yeah, again, Emma is in no danger of going home, but she's in no danger of doing anything either. Danger. Um, I like maybe there's a world where like Juliet's busy and she picks it up at some point. Maybe, but like maybe. Emma, I think doesn't pick it up. Period. And like, sorry, but like, love her to death. But I feel like what we're getting from Emma now, it's gonna be the most we're getting from Emma, unless she's on the block, in which case she'll just say like, "Keep me," and like that'll be like the extent of it. Um, so like, people like her, and some
That's
people,
how she won before.
and
That's
she,
exactly how she won before.
she's a winner. Like, I don't doubt that she'll get to the end, but I do not see a world where Emma McIntyre can win the game again playing the same game. It physically cannot and will not happen. No matter how bitter the jury is, I don't think they let Emma win again the same way. There's no way. Yes. Oh, yes, Juliana. Juliet is being a poor player. I'm glad you agree. Yes, sleeping. Yep. I wonder if she's even watching this. Julia, if you're watching this, hit me up. I'm sorry, but I don't think you're watching this. And Emma. Yeah, I'm going down on Emma. I'm giving Emma a 5. I'm going down for my 6. I think she's just at a very neutral mood point. People kind of forget she's there, which isn't the worst thing in the world, but it is when it's this. So yeah,
So she's at a 4.5 right
I'm at a 4.5. Yes,
now, going down. Okay.
most people have gone down this week. That's sad.
Then we have Erin.
Erin got sixes from the both of us last week.
Yeah, she's at a 6 right now. Okay. Let me just say, I'm trying to think of where I want to go with this. Because like I can see like old Erin coming back, and I love it. Like it's crazy. Because this is kind of what she was doing, if you remember, in season 2. Like this was basically, and even season 1, like this is basically where she was at in season 1 and 2, where like she wasn't really doing that much. She was kind of just staying in the loop with people and making sure she knew what was going on, what she's doing. And I personally think that we talked about this so much of like this alliance falling, that she's not going to be the one to see the block. I don't think when this alliance breaks. I think it's Bella, Ross, and David, and even Emma probably like as a pawn. Like I don't think Erin even sees the block, but we'll see. Like that being said, she also has so many strong connections with people. Like I don't know. I'm just like I'm impressed as Erin as one of the best players of all time. Like we said this last week. Like it's crazy. Nobody is talking about her, and I can't believe it. I would love to see Erin win HOH this week and like stir some shit. Like seriously, if Erin, I think my ideal week would be someone from season 3 winning HOH and Erin winning HOH, and they try to tell her what to do, and she just doesn't do it.
Literally,
like,
Erin, if you try to tell Erin what to do, unless your name is Anthony Ventresca and you're having a conversation and you're not trying to just tell her what to do, she will literally just do. I wouldn't be surprised if Erin's like, you know what, Bella and Ross, have fun on the block. Like that
would. Like, that's probably what would happen.
That wouldn't shock me. Just for like, do I think it's smart for Erin? No. Do I think Erin knows that it's not smart for Erin? Yes. Do I think Erin would still do it? Absolutely.
Like, I was like freaking out. She was like, I'm not gonna do it, but like, what if I told Juliana and Reza that like they weren't in the majority? I was like, just do it. Just.
I think I think we get to a certain point where like fun Erin's gonna come out. She's gonna be like, screw it, I'm just gonna have fun.
Okay, wait. So I'm trying to think where I want to go.
How do you put this in a number? I don't know.
I just because I love Erin so much, I'm moving up to a 7.
I'm also moving up to a 7. Here's the thing. Like with Erin, her position currently is great. No one's talking about her. Lots of people trust her on both sides of the house. Like her position is key. I can't rank based off of where I think she can go. Because Erin, unfortunately, I really see our rankings go higher and higher, and then she cliff dives. Like,
she probably keeps doing stupid stuff until she like does something too stupid and then gets sent home. That's my guess.
Yeah, exactly. So for right now, great. Do I think next week she could totally screw herself? Absolutely. Do I think she could be even higher next week? Sure. She's so unpredictable. She is so unpredictable. Yes, Erin. She's very unpredictable but very fun to watch. She's in a good spot now. Yeah, 7. So her average is 7.
So that puts Erin at a 7. She's currently tied with Anthony Ventresca and who's the other 7? Anthony Hayes. Interesting.
And Alex, who is currently blocked off.
Oh, yeah. Interesting. Okay. All right, Grace. So it looks like Grace is the pink dashed line.
She's at an average of 5 currently.
5, yeah.
However, I gave her a 4 and you gave her a 6.
Interesting. It sucks because Grace is so out of the loop that I feel like if she was like more integrated into conversations that, or sorry, not into conversations, into the majority correct conversations, that I feel like I would put her higher. Let me see where I put everyone else. I think, I don't know. For some reason, I'm just predicting like a trajectory for Grace that like doesn't go very far. Like for some reason, I see her like pre-jury, again, I'm not going to rank based off of predictions and like random guesses, but like she's in that minority, and I feel like she could easily be the next one to go next week. Like just especially if a non-season 3 person wins HOH, and then they put up Juliana and whoever, and then or whatever, and then Grace you're right, it takes one veto win and someone unpredictable is out the door, or it takes one veto win for the nominations to stay the same, and there's one person out the door. So I'm gonna go down to a 6 this week.
You were at a 6 last week.
Oh wait, I'm sorry, I meant down to a 5. My bad. I was like, there's no way I was at a 7 last week.
Yeah. So last week I was at a 4. On the whole, I've been ticking everyone from season 3 down a notch, just because like with one less number there, you're one step closer to going home. However, Grace, if I was going off of her position last week, would have gotten a 5 from me, and if she was at a 4 because she was on the block next to Dan. So I am gonna stay at my 4. I'm not gonna go down on Grace just because I think the likelihood of her going home next week is slimmer than say Luke going home or Juliana going home or even Juliet going home. But like she's still not safe by any sort of the means. She is smart enough to not target season 3 if she wins HOH, thank God, because there are some people that aren't.
Wait, I love Juliana Rosa outside the game, and I so badly want to work with them. Oh my God, is something happening? No.
Not as of this moment. I think something happened after this eviction. And
Aaron's telling people, I'm hearing people are voting Kate, so I think that's what I'll do. Really?
No, I don't think Aaron's trying to ruffle any feathers before the eviction, but I think after the eviction, we're going to see something interesting happen.
Reza and Juliana are both surprised. I don't feel comfortable sharing names. I haven't worked with either Juliet or Kate, but based on their past games, I feel more threatened by Kate's game. And that's where the conversation ended.
Yeah, I don't. Kate's really not getting out of this. But yeah, so okay, Grace's average is a 4.5.
Yeah. Dang, people need to like step it up.
It's just boring. It's a boring lull.
It was a boring week.
Because the same thing is happening as season. Oh, okay, we're talking about James now.
Oh, perfect.
Mr. Defender himself. I have an opinion about Mr. James.
So it looks like James. I don't know. I have so much green. Oh yeah, he's got a 7. He was at 7.
Mr. James. James got a 7 from both of us last week. I have very strong opinions about Mr. James.
I mean, if you want to go first and not share your number, you can.
Oh.
Or do you want me to go first? I will go first.
Go first.
I mean, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking like he's making it boring and he's creating the majority lines and sitting pretty. But like, I'm not going to blame him for that. Like, it's boring to watch, but like.
Oh, I full on blame James and Maeve.
Well, it's boring to watch, but it's like it's doing him well. I know. Scott, I know. You told this to me. You said if you ever go on Big Brother, you're going to make the majority alliance with the guys when the first HOH and cruise to the end. That's what you said. It's boring as hell, but
listen, you haven't heard what I'm going to say yet. So
okay,
don't
fine.
open your mouth.
You told me that before, but okay. But like, yeah, you're right. Alex wants to take out James. He wants James to go, but Alex is not going to do it without the support of other people, and I don't think he has the support of other people, so I don't think he's going to do it. I'm keeping James at a 7. Yeah, I'm keeping James at a 7.
Hey.
Go ahead.
I am so literally. We preached season 4 is so boring, and it was boring because James and Maeve, who are amazing players, let's not get this screwed, amazing players, but they form these majority alliances and talk to everyone, and no one sees it coming, and everyone knows it's coming, but they don't do anything about it. And it's so annoying to watch. It is so annoying to watch, and the same thing is happening. And I swear, even when this group does break up, because it's going to have to eventually, because it's so large, he's still positioned in the middle of all of it. It's insane. It's so annoying. But my God, it's hella impressive. I have to move up to a 9.
Wow.
Yeah. Listen, as much as I am annoyed that he is getting away with the same thing again.
No, I wasn't gonna move up.
Damn impressive.
I wasn't gonna move up because I don't think it lasts for long that he's in the middle. I don't think that. I don't think if you keep saying if the group breaks, he's in the middle. I honestly don't know if that happens.
I think Ross has his guns pointed at K-Pow. I think K-Pow has her guns pointed at Ross and David. I think David is gunning for the other side. James, honestly, do I think he'll get to the end of the game with that? No, I think he'll have to make some moves eventually. But like when the initial breakup happens, like Bella is preaching that James is one of her closest allies. So is Hayes. So is
But
Emma.
I disagree because I think Julia and Bella might compare notes, and they see that.
I don't think they do though. And even if they do, I think Bella's like, I trust James.
I don't know.
I think the extent of comparing notes is they both agree that they trust James. So for the time being,
Yeah, we'll see.
for the time being, I'm at a 9 because he got away scotch-free this week after very heavily pushing Dan, and is by Alex is currently the only one that's pointing it out, and Alex is not going to do anything about it currently.
I don't know.
So that's where I'm at with James.
I
And
think that
I'm so annoyed. I'm so annoyed. But yeah, it's impressive.
all right, Juliana.
Oh, okay. Here's the opposite end of the spectrum.
So she was at an average 4 last week.
Gave her both 4s last week.
Oh, Juliana. It's just like it's so sad. It's really sad to watch because she's like such a great player, and she's just so oblivious. It's like ridiculous. I honestly want to check to see if Aaron's fan club has not talked anymore since then. I just cannot believe this. It's so annoying. Granted, I don't think David stops coming after her until she's gone.
If David gets HOH this week, she's as good
But
as done.
I don't think he stops coming after her until she's gone. Is the thing. Like, I think that even in a few weeks, he's still coming after her because he heard her say his name like once. I mean, I just think that's just the way David is. But I think she's in trouble. I don't want her to be. I'm gonna go to a 3. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see how I don't go to a 3 this week as well. So that's what I'm gonna do. Listen, Juliana, the best thing for her game is to think that Kate is staying and to get blindsided, see where the votes are at, and then know. I'm looking at my text right now. I think they're figuring out that Kate's leaving, and I think it's gonna be another close to unanimous vote, and she's not gonna do anything about it. She needs to talk to Erin and like do some kind of sort of magic to get Erin to spill some of the beans, because like that's Juliana's best bet right now. I really think that depending on who wins, I think that Juliana and Luke are both equally like split 50-50, just depending on who wins. They're going to be the main target. They need to win HOH. They know they need to win HOH. I will get like they know that they are in trouble. Well, no, Luke doesn't know. He has a great social game, but Juliana like knows that they got rid of Dan, they got rid of Kate. Put 1 and 2 together, and you get 3. Her score, Juliana, in trouble. Like
down to a 3.
it's just not good. Dan's 1 plus Kate's 2 equals Juliana's 3, and then she has to put it together. No, she's in trouble. But like her problem is she doesn't know where the pieces lie to then make something happen. And she just needs to realize that people aren't with her, and she needs to just wreck hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a 3 for me.
Okay, Caitlin. Caitlin
was at a 6 with both of us last week.
Yeah, Caitlin was at a 6. Interesting. Caitlin, I think Ross is wrongly starting to get sus of her because
very wrongly, but
he's trying to keep Kate, which is not true. She wants Kate gone so badly, which is so funny. I mean, I don't know. I feel like she also hasn't really changed much since last week. I don't see her going anywhere anytime soon. I don't really even see her being used as a pawn. Because I feel like even we call her like the competition threat, but like that was kind of before anybody else played. So I feel like people see her as this competition threat, and they wouldn't want to put her up in case so they don't lose Battle of the Block or like get dethroned. I don't know. I don't think Caitlin goes up anytime soon. But again, I don't. Who else did I give this to? Let's see. I think I'm going to stay at a 6 this week.
Alrighty, Stephen is saying at a 6. Um, K-Pow, I think this week is a little weird for her in that she's being like wrongly targeted.
Yeah.
Ross is like
But
convinced
it's
that
only Ross, though.
yes, but like Ross is smart enough to know how to get what he wants. Where it's like, like here's the thing, like comparing Alex and Ross, Alex who's going after James, and Ross is going after Caitlyn. I think Caitlyn going home is a far more likely scenario because Ross wants something as soon as he sees the window to like go for it, will. Whereas like I feel like Alex won't make that move yet. So because it's Ross is coming after her, as well as Juliana and now season 3, which is coming at her head with a pitchfork, like Julia, I think could go up. And the problem is, I think season 3 would want Julia to go first, but I think the bigger group at the lead of Ross would want Caitlyn to go first. So because I don't think she's necessarily, depending on who wins HOH, I think it's likely that she stays. But because it's not 100%, and I do think her target's gone up a little bit, I'm going to go down to a 5.
Okay. Oh,
Is that a FaceTime?
yeah.
From Big Brother?
Yeah, it's Kate and Juliana.
Oh. Cool. Yes.
Okay.
K-Pow scores a 5.5 now.
Yep.
Moving on to Reza.
He said that very aggressively.
Reza.
Oh, Kate is calling everybody now.
Yeah.
Okay. Reza Ali.
Last week.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Reza was at a 5 from me and a 6 from you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, makes sense. Okay. I feel like I mean, Reza's. I hope that they just find out tonight that they are on the bottom and they just make some stuff happen. I think that's very likely. I think that. I mean, I can't like you can't say that they won't all be able to flip like a few people. Like you don't think that once they find out that they're on the bottom, they won't be able to flip a few people from the other side. Like I feel like that they could.
Once they find out they're on the bottom, if they find it from Aaron, I think there is a world where, say this happens next week before the eviction, I think there is a world where Luke, Juliana, Reza, Grace, and the other one, who is Reza, who we're talking about now, that about sums up how memorable he is. I think they're able to get Juliet, Aaron, if they tell him, and I think Anthony Ventresca, which is an 8-person out of what will be 17.
Yeah.
So like you can make something happen there. It's not out of the question.
But again, I don't see Reza doing too much. Did I give him a 5 last week? You said
6.
Okay, don't judge me. Okay.
Oh, I'm judging you. I think that's very high, but I also only give it 5. Whatever.
That's why we have an average system. Okay.
I have an average system.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I definitely screwed up. I gave Reza a 6 last week because I thought he was gonna win the veto and come out of hibernation because he was nominated, and then he went right back in hibernation. So that's why I had to go down. I am gonna drop to making sure that I don't have. Yeah, I feel like Luke and Reza should definitely be in the same spot. I'm giving you a 4.
I don't necessarily agree that they should be in the same spot because I do think Luke is being targeted while Reza is just kind of there. In the group.
Good.
But I'm also going down to a 4. I just have Luke at a 3. Again, Dan's gone. One less number for him. He's not actively reaching out to anyone. I think if it comes down to like him and someone like Grace works her butt off for it. But the thing is, people also don't care if you work your butt off for it. Who's gonna vote out Reza over Grace? And listen, it's the same mistake that people made last time. And then Reza in the second half of the game. Reza, I think, thrives when there are less pieces on the board. So if he is able to get through to, say, the jury phase, which I think is very likely and or possible, I think he can turn it on and will turn it on. but like you have to get there first, and he's in too precarious of a position to me for me to say that it's definitely happening. I think a 4 is where I'd put Reza as well.
All right, so he has an average of 4. He went down. He started out at 4, then he went up to a 5.5, then he went down to a 4. Ross.
Finally, Ross, yes.
Ross is at a 6.5. Is that right?
Yes, last week Ross got a 6 from me and a 7 from you.
Okay, so Ross, again, I've said this countless times tonight, is probably going to be on the wrong side when this cracks. And I kind of worry for him because I feel like he's kind of more. I was expecting him to, which maybe this was probably his strategy. I was expecting him to reach out to more people and like kind of get in good with a lot of different people. But I mean, I feel like Bella has definitely done that more. Which is why I think that like I think Ross is kind of trying to play quiet, which is what Bella is now starting to try to do. But I think Ross is trying to do that from the beginning. I gave him a 7 last week.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I don't know. I think this week is so dependent on who wins HOH. Because even the people in that big alliance, I think something could happen if, like, I think if Ross wins HOH this week, he could go after K-Pow. Like, I think he could be the one to break this alliance before it actually breaks. So it's definitely so dependent on what happens this week with HOH. And that's in a few hours. That's crazy. I am going to go, but I'm going to go to a 6 because I'm going to go off the fact that I think that Ross can get out of a lot of situations. So that's why I'm going to go to a 6.
I'm feeling similarly about Ross as you are. I don't necessarily, when the group breaks up, I don't necessarily think that he'll be on the wrong side because I do think he has David, Bella, Anthony, Ventresca, and Emma right on his side.
Well, I think that is the wrong side, to be honest.
But like of that group, like that's 6 solid people, including Aaron. That's if Aaron is still thinking in her right mind at the time.
Yeah,
but Aaron also has a tendency to turn on Ross, so we'll see. So I don't necessarily think it's going to be like the wrong side because like the numbers are there to where it could be the right, it could be the wrong. It's pretty split down the middle where you have those 6, and then you have the other side of what I think will be Julia, K-Pow, Maeve, Anthony, Hayes, and Alex, and then James kind of falls in the middle there, but leans towards that second side there to make it like a 6-6 split. So I don't necessarily think I'll be on the wrong side, but I do think that of that group, him and David are the biggest bullseyes of like, oh, those are the people we need to take out. I don't think his position has really changed much from last week, so I'm going to stay where I was, and I'm going to stay at a 6. So yes.
All right.
Well, that's where we are at. So
looks like James takes the top spot with a new record of. Oh no, Alex had 8 the first week with a record.
Go back to that one. So yes, if we look at it currently, literally we said, who would have thought David Fosbender was in the top spot last week? Who would have thought James Bowl is in the top spot week 3? That shouldn't be happening. I should not have given this man a 9. This is sad, y'all. This is sad. James as a player is amazing, but oh my god, I would literally die if season 4 won this season. I love them all to death, but I don't want to see it happen. I really don't. Listen, I would love James to run this at the end, but I want someone to snipe him at the end. I can't have the satisfaction of James winning back-to-back. I can't. But it's hella impressive. Then, yes, currently in second, it's a lot of people. We still have Alex up there as a name that is still in a good spot. We have both of the Anthonys up there in a good spot. We have Aaron, who has also moved up into that second place position. Let's take a look. Like James, Aaron, Anthony, Ventresca, 3 of the biggest names. Why are they playing? Like how? What? Excuse me, please. Bottom, as to be expected, we have Kate, Aaron, probably going home this week, which is very Sad because I adore Kate. It's so much fun. Second to last is in fact Juliana, who's probably the prime target moving into next week, which is unfortunate to see, as well as who this person is. I forget because I don't know her much. And Luke.
that you couldn't see her.
Oh, it was Juliet. And Luke is also kind of Mr. Social Game himself. Is there? So yeah, that's kind of where we're at currently. Yeah. This next HOH is very interesting. It's a tournament style. The tournament bracket is predetermined. So I'm pulling so hard for the villain side. Literally, like Luke or Juliana needs to win from the villains. They have to. Please, Luke and Juliana, and they're both gunning for it. On the hero side, um, I'm not putting my faith in Reza. Um, I would love for Grace to win, but would be very, very, very interested to see Aaron or Ross. I would not hate Aaron or Ross as the head of household because I think they're not as quick to point their gun at Juliana or Luke. I think Ross might. Ross is more so likely than Aaron is, but I think there is an interesting scenario there if either of them win. But ideally, it's Grace, in my opinion. So yeah, that's my hopes and wishes. I don't know if you have any.
Predictions coming up in just a little over an hour. Very exciting stuff tonight, I think. Yeah, who in season 3? Frankie won. Leah, I think, was second.
It was Frankie versus Leah, and it was Leah who kept on trying to throw the comp.
Yeah.
Would either accidentally get the answer right or someone threw it quicker than her.
Luke actually got really far too, but he was guessing the entire time.
He was just guessing. Yeah.
This is the competition Kate was almost evicted on.
Yes, this is when Sam Peacock went home for the second season in a row early.
I'm trying to think. Season 3, I don't remember anything else or where people were. Grace was outgoing, I think. All right, my max solution. Yeah, Grace was outgoing HOH.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right, so we will see you in a few more days for our week 4 rankings. Again, I said this last week. Anything can happen this week. We could be putting freaking Luke at a 10 next week. Who the hell knows?
You're not foreshadowing. There's no way.
I mean, you know what I mean.
There's no way.
I'm going to give Luke a 10 next week just to spite you. And then you can give him a 1 and then balance it out.
I'll give him that negative 10. where I see fit. No.
Okay. All right, sounds good. And yeah.
Bye.
Bye.